Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 8 of Tomorrow's Survival. Quick recap of the goals. I am working on a hospital bed, likely to get that done this episode or next, and I of course am digging out a tunnel or network of tunnels. Speaking of a network of tunnel, I want to dig towards this steel right now. So let's go ahead and add this to the radiation zones. And then I'm going to remove a lot of stuff from home zone. And then also, I guess I'll have both diggers work on this. The next thing I really want to do is to also dig out this steel, which will get me a little irradiated, but it's so that I can start adding to the growing basins ASAP. So I'm going to work on that. Jane's here is still going around insulting everyone. Built roofs don't really matter anymore, which is great. Another thing I wanted to do is we don't really have a lot of construction tasks, so I'm going to have Tony do them. Because Tony doesn't mine, but everyone else mines and constructs, so Tony can end up doing all of these smoothing out stuff. And it won't be a problem. Alright, Janes, you're outside. That seems irrational and dumb, so let's fix that. Trying to mine from the other, from the outside in. Don't do that. That will cause you grievous harm. Alright, so Tony is smoothing out the rest of the farm, and this will allow us to move around a little faster because the walk speed of unsmooth is 93, the walk speed of smooth is 100. It also will make the room worth a bit more. Not that that matters all that much, it's a farm. Agro is now mining with no protection from radiation, so I gotta keep an eye on that. And I am having him haul the steel and sort of having him stop hauling right where he is in the farm, where we're going to want the basins. And I'm adding the extra basins because my power grid supports it, but also I'd like to grow as much as cotton as I can. I don't think it's really all that realistic that I'm able to get the trade order done, but it doesn't mean I won't try. James is the better constructor. Agro, I know you already have a little radiation built up. What? We're gonna mine out the rest of this. And let's grow some rice here. Tony, you should be all over that. The other thing I want to do is add a no radiation zone here, because I can get rid of these steel walls. They're flammable and uglier and less protective. Okay, daylilies are dying of the cold, but that's sort of a... I knew that that was going to happen. We'll be walling that up in just a second. James is getting a little irradiated, standing where he is. Alright, Tony, how about you deconstruct? And then agro, we are going to build a external wall, double insulated. Tony, haul all the steel away. And let's get the wall built. Agro is going to finish this off. Or Jane's rather, Agro's asleep. And this will put our base back into inside. All my daylilies have died as a result. That's okay. It's growing practice. And then the double insulate. And finish that off before we call it a night. Biorefining is done. Let's get transport pods. So I ran the math. We need 32 cowboy hats at 25 a pop, or 800 material to make them under the most ideal scenario. Ideal because it needs to be normal or better, and it's quite possible we won't get normal or better on all of them. So I probably won't be able to fulfill this contract, being realistic and all. But we'll see what kind of cotton yield we get. Hypothetically, we could get up to 704 from all of the stuff that I've queued up right now, but I think the likelihood of getting that is less than realistic. Let's have you haul the rest. Ooh. Don't haul that way. There we go. I'm not going to roof this over because it allows this tunnel to be outdoors, although it does, of course, put it at a bit risk of having raiders use it. But for now, I'm more worried about the stuck underground debuff than anything else. All right, let's put you back on the no radiation zone. And in fact, it looks like it's not fully painted correct. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, aggro should be continuing to, yep, dig. Janes, you are going to be making these bins. Aggro, you need to get yourself some recreation. All right, and then these new bins, of course, are going to be cotton in the attempt to grow in time for the trade order, but as I said, it's really unlikely that I'll get it done. It's just a goal. Oh, looks like some compacted machinery is about to be struck. And then down here, it looks like their current mining orders are bad. Let's move them a bit, because we want to stay under the mountain as long as we can. So add no radiation there and take it away here. All right, and we're trying to mine out to the steel node on the west end of this mountain. All right, Tony's putting cotton in all these bins. Good, Tony. In fact, we have enough steel for one more bin. I can worry about the biorefinery later. Mostly because the biorefinery is... we won't need a lot of fuel to get where we're going. All right, I think due to hypothermia, James's yield is a little low, so I'm going to send him back. Aggro, I want you mining over research. You're in serious pain due to the radiation buildup. In darkness, in sick, insulted, cold. Oh boy. You might be an optimist, but there's not a lot of things to be optimistic about. Alright, Janes, let's get this last bin constructed. Aggro's fully healed. I mean, Stormy, rather, is fully healed, so that bit's good. Alright, this is the last bin. And they're asleep. Hopefully the sleep helps them recover from their mood. Oh, I hadn't generated the planet. Ouch. Oops, my bad. So let's take a look at how much time we have left on the trade. I don't think it's all that realistic that I get this. The Power Claw and the Chem Reactor is a pretty cool reward. Some bodyguard wants me to protect her. That's... If you can't bodyguard yourself, chances are you're not a particularly good bodyguard for me either. Alright, so fixing aggro's mood. Hungry I can fix. Sick, pain, insulted I can't. And I know you're eating gross foods, but we're trying to be economical about how much we spend. Alright, so aggro's pushing towards the steel so that we can build the biorefinery. We'll need 110 steel for that. James is resting and healing up. I should probably schedule like proper recreation time. Yeah, I might do that. So let's go ahead and do just that. I don't think rec before... I don't think this is like the most ideal, but it'll have to do. Very regimented days here. At least they have a rec hour that overlaps. Although keeping the rivals apart might be wise. Having them mend fences might be good too. Looking at their social... The slighted and insulted will go away. A lot of this will go away over time. It will become... Yeah, it already just improved a little bit. Maybe a few cowboy hats for greater social impact in my own group would help. So here's some thin mountain, but it's still radiation protected. And aggro is now eating and back out to dig marble. It is 17 here. Yeah, we're a few hours away from the mandated rec hour. So I guess if you have overhead mountain, even though you're quote-unquote outdoors, you're not benefiting from the outdoors. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and wall this off, because it doesn't really help that it is quote-unquote outdoors. We're not benefiting at all. That's good to know. I'm pretty close to a steam geyser. Not that I can harness its heat, because we're not allowed to build roofing. Now that the roofs don't... Now that the roofs don't actually protect from radiation, it still doesn't mean that I want to build roofs out there. I still think that that's against the rules a little bit, or at least the spirit of the rules. Really soon it looks like we're going to have a big cotton harvest. Tony, despite being a really miserably low skill constructor, actually hasn't failed on any of those walls yet. So cool. Thank you, Tony. We've got a raid. They're going to prepare a while. That is a horrible idea. They're all melee too, which is really the wrong weapons. James, you got really happy. Oh, catharsis. Yeah, that will do. That will work. All right, so now our tunnel system is fully inside. And we should be hitting steel here any minute. No, it is the rec hour. How about when you go for the rec hour, you grab some chunks. No place to store it. Well, I beg to differ. I see a place to store it. All right, gonna call it chunks and just gonna allow slagger chunks there. So they're beginning their assault. Some went south, some went north. All the Ikla went south, and oh, they only have one knife. Let's check their. Oh, one's down. Well, if one's down, they're all down. They waited too long to come attack me. Fortunately for me, I really can't get to their bodies. They're kind of functionally too far. All right, so here is the big cotton harvest. Getting going. Oh, hello, aggro. So down here, we're probably going to want a marble door and marble wall. Keep our tunnel to ourselves. So we will need 800 fabrics in order to get the required amount of stuff. And I highly, highly, highly doubt will be 800 worth. Meaning that all this cotton will go towards dusters and toques. Or leveling up, even. But I'll keep an eye. We could also make billiards and stuff like that. I think what I'll do is harvest it now. I don't know. If it looks like I'm getting close, I will attempt for it. Oh, we're starting to get hypothermia, so let's turn back. As long as we don't have too many failures, it actually might be possible. Trying to set up the trade route, however, is a whole different set of challenges. Aggro, you have a little bit of... okay, so we got pods. Let's go for hospital beds. You have some hypothermia that I'd like to ditch. Alright, so how much cloth do we have? We have, if I zoom all the way out, 578. So we have 746 out of 800 needed. Checking on the time, 7 days left. Some of this will be harvestable. You know what? I'm going to try to go for it. It seems like a really, really, really bad idea, and I am fully on board, and I agree with you. Initially, let's make cloth ones. Worst case scenario, we have a lot of cowboy hats to sell. So normal to legendary with aggro. Drop on the floor. All right. And then aggro here, you are going to be tailoring and nothing else. So let's get started. At the very least, this is a good way to grind out some tailoring skill. So even if we don't get a full yield or anything. Even if we don't have the trade. All right, and let's go ahead and store cotton here. Manufactured textiles of cloth. All right. Well, he has a passion in doing this, so that's good too. Being passionate about it helps. Helps with the mood. All right, Tony, what are you doing? Hauling marble chunks. I like how you hauled it and placed it out of position so that you can not haul it. Brilliant. We don't have a whole lot of rice to turn into chem fuel, but we have enough, I think. All right, Janes, I want you... Oh, Janes, you are home zone restricted. Let's go no radiation restrict. Get you digging at the rest of that marble. I'd rather have him eat, but whatever. Oh, you botched a door. That's okay. We have plenty of stone. And here's the start of the steel. One more, and then you can haul it back. I like to try to get an arm load, you know? Make it worth the trip. Alright, we got hospital bed. Ooh, sterile materials wouldn't be terrible. Gunsmithing, probably. The quality guns we have is pretty terrible. And we're going to want a biorefinery. Don't have the steel yet for it, but we're going to get it pretty soon, I think. So Tony, you are rebuilding the door. Janes, you are mining the steel. Perfect. Stormy, you're just sciencing. Alright, I don't want anyone to wear the hats, so let's go ahead and go into headgear and disallow cowboy hats. Although, Stormy, you can wear the poor one, because that doesn't count towards the requirements that we have. And Stormy, I think, is our best warden. Yep, so cowboy hat makes sense. Alright. All this... Okay, so we're starting to not get overhead mountain here. So I gotta be careful where I stand when I mine. We have enough for the biorefinery. And another poor hat. Aggro, you're going to wear it as punishment for how poorly you mined stuff. Don't you have a major break on me. Volatility is not a great trait. Increased mental break threshold. Be far less of an issue soon, I think. Alright, so let's say I am going to paint a new zone. We'll call it patio. And it's just going to include this spot here. So when they need to get rid of their trapped debuff, we can do just that. Wow, this dude's addicted to Luciferium. Meaning that he has Luciferium on him. You are 56-year-old female. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to save you. I could mine my way out. But I'm not entirely sure I want to save her. Being a Lucy addict, it will be very hard to obtain the required everything to make that work. Alright, so the little patio kept you out there. We've got 6 days left. I work well under pressure. I'm not saying I think it's doable, but I work well under pressure. Alright, so if we have a pod launcher, I think putting it down here would be better than putting it up there. Put it right there. Because up here is harder to wall off to guard. I'll have to build a wall here, whereas... Well, I'm going to have to build that wall anyway. Yeah, I think it's just easier to get goods through those doors. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, and Tantrum. He's going to destroy the comms console. Tony. Who's close? Stormy. Oh boy. I don't want to have to do this, but... Comms console's expensive, man. You built it, I'm pretty sure. Alright, Janes, let's have you wear this poor one. And chill out. How many times has this failed door been attempted? It's got to be more than once. Alright, so there's a raid. They're preparing a while. Poor raiders. They're pretty close to the base, though, I gotta say. But preparing a while, still pretty much, not entirely a death sentence, but pretty close to one. Alright, Mr. Aggro. We have made 8 out of 32 with not a whole lot of fabric left, but we are starting to get more harvest, and I can always harvest early if I need to. We have 6 days left. Maybe it's doable. Maybe I was wrong to doubt myself. I don't think it is doable, but it could be. Alright, these schmoes are getting dead real fast. This Luciferium I ought to go for. Tony, you have a bad back, which means you move slower. So you're probably not the right person to grab the Luciferium, but I'm going to send you to it anyway. Whoa, that is not... Oh, this is forbidden. Okay. There. They're beginning their assault. 1, 2, 3. And Tony, go get the Lucy. Hopefully aggro won't take too much damage here. In fact, I doubt that we'll need to do very much here at all, because they're going to probably die from radiation pretty quickly. But I'm going to end up getting a little bit of raid. Alright, how bad is it? Serious already? Yeah, they're going down. I just need to keep them from destroying everything. Already some of them are dropping, so they're probably about to flee. They're dropping and vomiting. And that's all I need to do. We learned the hard way the last time that that capturing them is truly the most pointless. So I'm actually not capturing this one. I'm just bringing him a little bit closer so I can strip him and take his stuff. In fact, I should keep an eye on his radiation. I don't think he's going to survive even the trip to be stripped. Unrestricted haul. Prisoner rescue request. Okay. That would be very, very difficult to get done. And this is a toque. These guys died too quickly of radiation for us to rescue or to salvage. For restrictions, I'm going to clear forest. Now that we have a toque. It's too bad I can't turn those bows into usable wood. Let's see, what else? Stockpile. I could put some stuff in there, I guess. It's So we're having to travel pretty far for the cotton because the stockpile is full. The regular cotton stockpile is full. Maybe Stormy can haul some in. Aggro. Janes, what are you working on? You're mining. Very nice. Tony, you are going to be radiation restricted. We'll give you a hat. And then have you haul some cotton. Agro's wearing the parka. Parkas, is that the right call here? Okay, yeah, I guess that's fine. All right, who's wearing the toque? I'm gonna put the toque on Jane's because he spends the most time sort of away from the base. You know, where it's cold. And we've got 12 out of 32 with 5 days left. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Maybe not all that plausible, but it's possible. Okay, Janes is mining. I'm trying to avoid overhead mountain, or the lack of overhead mountain. We could also add more basins. Your mood's been a little bit more stable. Oh, but you're observing rotten corpses, not so good. Hopefully that debuff goes away soon. Janes, yeah, let me do that. Let me repair, clean, and basin up the rest here. So it's gonna look like 1, 2, 3. All right, and we will put you on really high construction. Well, guys, that's probably all the time I have for this episode. So as I said, this is pre-recorded, and therefore we don't have new goals for this week, but the end of the week, today being Monday, the end of the week being Friday, or at least that is the last episode of the week, you can look for a poll there. So thank you all for watching. If you have any feedback for me, drop me a line. If you've liked this series, like, subscribe, maybe become a patron, and I'll have to catch you all later. Thank you all for watching. Adios.